Cases of mistreatment of migrant workers in the Gulf continue to hit the headlines, while the Commission on Administrative Justice has called on the Office of the President to put together a multi-agency working team to address gaps in the existing labor policies and procedures relating to recruitment and management of Kenyan migrant domestic workers. So the proposal arising from investigations carried out by the Office of the Ombudsman, which found that many migrant workers did not possess adequate skills to make them competitive, and that language barrier gave the employers an unfair advantage whenever there was a disagreement. Chemutai Goin has more.
The findings by the Commission on Administrative Justice reveal systemic gaps in existing labor policies, processes and procedures relating to recruitment and management of Kenyan migrant domestic workers in Saudi Arabia.
We are not saying that we should have a ban on exporting labor. We should have proper mechanisms as CAJ. We are proposing that there should be proper laws that then govern this process of employment.
In their investigations, the Office of the Ombudsman found that many Kenyans suffered physical and sexual abuse, sleep and food deprivation, racial and religious discrimination, and that once they were in trouble with their employers, their travel documents were confiscated.
There should be a proper provision on confiscation of travel documents, and specifically when our workers are traveling to Saudi Arabia, then they need to be trained properly.
Who has favored who? We recruiters, we are doing our job to get Kenyans work. Who is supposed to give these people security? I cannot start in every door. I brought you housemaid and then I start there. What about the other one? Our girls has no discipline. I'm sorry to say this. They need discipline. They need from training.
Part of the legal gaps established by the Ombudsman was a lack of legal measures to deal with rogue employers and rogue migrant workers. In some instances, migrant workers were transferred to other states or homesteads, making it difficult to respond to distress calls due to lack of information. The session saw Rebecca Chesang, a returnee migrant worker, narrate her dreadful experience, calling on the government to institute measures to protect innocent young girls seeking a better future in the Gulf states.
Si ati tunaenda kule kwa kichwa ngumu ama ni Waarabu si watu wazuri. Ningependa sana government mtusaidie. Huyo madam alinifanyia mambo yenye. Wacha nichikaze ili nisaidie wengine. Mimi nimezika marafiki zangu 6 because of Saudi Arabia. Unataka kuniambia wote wanafanyanga makosa ndio wauawe?
And with no law to govern labor exploitation, it was revealed that Kenyans were paid far much less than their counterparts from other countries.
Some of our people are paid 900 reals. Reals, which of course is while for the Philippines, the minimum will be about 1,500. Why? It is something called job switching. What the worker signs here is different from what the worker is going to sign there.
My agent, hawezi pewa hiyo karatasi ya contract ukasoma kwa ofisi. Unapelekwa mpaka airport ndio usome hiyo contract kwa sababu hakuna vile unaweza rudi nyuma tena. Sasa ni safari, hakuna tena kurudi nyuma.
The Labour Ministry was urged to renegotiate the wages for Kenyans, develop clear sanctions to deal with rogue workers and employers, deploy attachés to address emerging concerns, and to also fast-track the development, tabling and approval of the Labour Migration Bill. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, whose principal secretary urged Kenyans to avoid seeking opportunities in the Gulf countries, was tasked with the responsibility of holding further bilateral talks with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to develop a complaints resolution mechanism. The Immigration Department urged to ensure migrant workers, only listed by the Commissioner of Labour, are allowed to travel to reduce incidents of undocumented Kenyans. With training seen as a component hindering many from earning a decent living, the National Industrial Training Institute was urged to review the curriculum to include Arabic as a basic language to address language barrier. Despite continued rise in cases of abuse and cruel treatment of foreign domestic workers, Saudi Arabia has emerged as the second largest source of remittances, signaling increased migration of jobless Kenyan workers into the Middle East nation. Chemutai Goin, Citizen TV, Nairobi.